If you guys know me, you know that I am enamored by Paul Mescal. Ever since Normal People, I have wanted to watch every project he has been in, and that I have done, and it has led me to Gladiator 2, directed by Ridley Scott. Gladiator 2 is the sequel to, well, Gladiator, also directed by Ridley Scott, and what do I think of it? It's a mixed bag. I want to talk about what I do like first before I get into the things that I don't. Starting off with the set pieces, of which are pretty damn fun. There is an attention to detail in the way that Rome is built, especially from Ridley Scott, whose films recently have definitely felt like reenactments of time. Napoleon did the same thing. Also Exodus, Gods and Kings, whether that one worked or not. He always puts maximum effort into all of his films, and this is no different. I also love Denzel Washington. The dude does everything he possibly can, especially considering he's playing a tyrannical leader. He chews up the scenery every time he is on screen. It is unbelievable what he does, considering that the film is set in ancient Rome. He gives a modern aesthetic to it all. It's the way his eyes sag, it's the way that his mouth moves, it's everything that he does in his face that works. Let's start with Paul Mescal. I love the guy, obviously, but this just feels like he's lost in the sauce. His character Lucius isn't exactly the most deep of all characters. I wanted a little bit more from him. I get what his character represents in the story. It represents a hero versus the villain archetype, but I didn't really get any of that. I think that he was lost in the sauce, unfortunately, especially because the script is extremely deep and not exactly that emotionally investing. Because the first film you kind of feel like, oh yeah, he is definitely this guy who wants to become something that he's not, but this doesn't really do that exactly. It kind of comes under that DLC pack film, which, you know, certain films are like that, unfortunately, especially in 2024. They feel like more DLC packs than they do anything else, especially considering that the first half of this film is beat for beat what the first one is. It is beat for beat. But then a switch happens in the second half, and yeah, it lit a fire under my ass. Considering films like Red One exist, it was kind of great to see a film with this much integrity and this much spectacle happen on screen. And as much as I disliked a lot of the elements, especially to do with Pedro Pascal's character, even Lucius, I do find myself enamored by everything that Ridley Scott tries to attempt, and the ambition is truly amazing to see, especially in current year, full of messy products that do nothing for me. Just look at Megalopolis. That was a film which tried to do the whole ancient Rome archetype where, oh yeah, Rome is built on hope and victor and valor, but like that one fails a lot. This one actually says something about tyrannical leaders and how tyrannical leaders are bad for society, especially with Pedro Pascal's character, who is practically just the general type, who is like, oh yeah, Rome is built on people, let's lead them. But again, I didn't really get much from that character, but I got a lot from the values of which his character was representing, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Gladiator 2 is a mixed bag, but it's a bag of which I am kind of happy I have. You know, it has a lot of things which don't work for me, but at the same time, its pros outweigh its cons. It's visually striking, the set pieces are pretty damn amazing to see. Denzel Washington, he chews up the scenery, like, I loved him. It's just everything around the characters of Lucius and Pedro Pascal's character, they just didn't work for me. They were a bit lost in the sauce. It kind of reminded me of Bradley Cooper in Maestro, where he was kind of lost in the source of the material. But nonetheless, Gladiator 2 is one of those films of which I will remember just for its spectacle. And yeah, I look forward to watching it again. In the meantime, watch the first Gladiator. It is so much better than this one, but yeah, I enjoyed this one. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me down below if you've seen Gladiator 2, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.